we have loss of 119 pips, gross profit of 830 pips, and net profit of 711 pips. So in dollars, if you're trading with 0.1 lot size, that is $71, 0.2 lot size, that is $142, and 0.1, that is $711, and one lot size is 7,170. This is much bigger than what we achieved last week, because last week, the other week, because it's a new week, the other week we did about 400 and something pips, but we did up to 717 pips in net profit. This another week, we keep on dropping the signals, because last week I had a total of 23 signals. Yeah, some of them were not, some of them did not hit their entry, but this is for those that actually hit entry. We'll go again this week. If you want to get into all the links to get into to start taking our signals is in the description of this video. It comes with a guarantee actually, but when you get in, you will get the guarantees. That said, I'm going to just go ahead and start talking about I'll go ahead and start talking about looking at crypto first. So what do we usually look at? We start with Forex. Then we now move to cryptocurrencies, just analysis. Where do you take trades from? Where do you expect the market to go this week, basically? And for today particularly, where are we looking to take our trades today? Now the question I was asked, because we had a massive liquidation the other week. This is the biggest liquidation in crypto ever. Over $19 billion was liquidated in the crypto markets. People were asking me on Telegram, when we had Telegram, when we had a voice chat on on Saturday. I don't know if you attended. The question was, are we going to the bear season? Are we all selling off? I say, you know what? You guys should join me today. Let's look at the chart together. If you look at this chart, it's still very bullish. Like, this is a weekly chart. Let me go. This is Bitcoin weekly chart, but let me go to the daily time frame. If you look at this chart, that liquidation is from here is from this point up here to this point. It is a 19%, approximately 20% drawdown. But if you look at the general market structure of Bitcoin, this liquidation came straight into a support zone. Like it tapped into a demand zone. And you can see it came to the demand zone, it went off again, and we did another, proper market structure down, and now it seems to be pulling up right now. So it is expected, and from where it is, I actually expect this market to start going all the way. I expect this market now to take out this all-time high again, because this very bullish movement we're seeing here, we had an open demand which wasn't tapped into. Now it is tapped into. Profit has been taken, people have been liquidated, is now going to go higher. I don't know if that makes sense. Even if we drop down to this particular point, I'm still going to be bullish. And I've said it many times. The only time I'll look bearish is when we cross this particular point, 74. If you look at Bitcoin structure, it's a very bullish structure. I don't think we're going to come back to 68 again. But this is still very, very bullish. Okay, so just asking the question, I think I've answered it now. The market is now, I don't think anybody should be shorting the market this particular week. It should all be longs this week. Nobody, I don't think is wise to start shorting this market at this time, because it's pretty bullish. Now let's look at, let's do analysis for crypto first. So we'll go this way. We analyze Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, maybe XRP. They will now go to the Forex market and do EU, GU, maybe UJ and GJ. And we are done for today. All right. So let's start. Let's start with analysis for Bitcoin. So what are we looking at? Again, we have a very good tap into the zone. This demand zone on the daily, and we are headed higher. What I want to see is to see this high taken out. I'm looking for to seeing this all-time high of 126 taken out. So let's go deeper. 4 hours now. What can we see on the 4 hours? On the 4 hours here, you can see here that we had first a break of structure here. And this break of structure we have here actually led to, it left a demand zone which has been filled again. And we are now heading for this one here. So if you're doing like a swing trade on the 4 hours, this is our demand zone. And what are we expecting from this demand zone? Is this price action? We want to go higher, then tap into this zone and go higher. Okay. Ultimately, I can go and mark here. So this is where I'll be targeting. Now I'm not going to go and target this high. I'll be targeting here. So if I take a trade anywhere here, this is where I'll be looking forward for take profit. I'm just going to mark this out. This is my 4 hour supply zone. All right, now let's go deeper. 1 hour. What should we expect on the 1 hour? On the 1 hour, you can see here again, break of structure clearly, and we can now refine this. Okay, I can refine this to this zone. So for my swing trade, this is where I'll be looking to take my trade from. Long position, limit order here. This below, I can aim for this high. I can even aim higher for this particular point. Now, going lower, 30 minutes and even 15 minutes. I think I can refine this even more on the lower time frame. So if you look at this particular point, we can refine this to this point. Thus, we can even refine this to up to this point because I have a small imbalance here. I would say that we can actually refine up to these very small points, these very points here. So here is still a really good place to look for an entry. So even if we target this particular high, we are still above a 3 point. So this will be what I'll be looking forward to take um, um, for this particular entry on the 30 minutes time frame. So this is pretty my analysis for Bitcoin. Now let's go to Ethereum. I'm just going to close these EMAs, and I'm going to start from the daily time frame. Same thing. Let me get rid of these trend lines. Okay. Ethereum 2 had the same drawdown, liquidity sweep, and Ethereum has been given a bearish sign. You can see here it's been giving. Let me show you what I mean. It's been giving us some this price action, which suggests it can go lower. Okay, this is what it suggests, but I'm not concerned with what it's going to do generally. I'm looking at what it's going to do in the meantime. So the same thing. I have this marked out. So I want to go lower right now, 4 hours. And on the 4 hours, we can see a similar thing with Ethereum. We can trade from where we are and target this particular zone. Okay, so what do I mean? We can trade from where we are and only target this supply zone here. The supply zone we have here, this is it. I can just target this particular zone and not worry about what happens after. All right, so going deeper, you see that we here have a break of structure at this point. Again, always look out for the market structure. We have that, and we have a demand zone also filled. So let's go lower. So same thing for Ethereum. So we have this demand zone filled. Then this also leaves us another demand zone here on the 1 hour. All right. So we also have an internal break of structure here. BOS. And you will see that we are now in this zone. This is an efficient zone. So how can I trade this? A simple long position from this point, this low, and target this particular high as my demand zone. This is a 4.3 risk reward ratio. This is what I'll be looking forward to trade. Now, if you look here, we have another demand zone here. All right. So this might be a possibility. It might be a possibility for a second entry. What do I mean? We can have a push. We can, clear this zone, come down lower, push higher, push lower, and ultimately target here. So this will be a second entry I'll be looking forward to. Hope this makes sense to you. Now, we can refine further by going down to the 30 minutes. On the 30 minutes, I think I'm not going to refine any further. I think I'll still leave it where it is because I'm not seeing new information. I'm here. So this is my possible trade for Ethereum on this time frame. With that, we'll just head straight to BNB. So for BNB, this is what I've drawn before. So I think last week when I was looking at this, so this is on Wednesday. I was looking to, this was one entry. When we had this break here, this particular break here, this is first entry, this particular one. I missed this entry actually. This became my second entry, but you can see the market never came up to this point to fill my order. Rather, I just went straight down to hit take profit. So I didn't get an entry here. Still fine. It's better you have a missed entry than having a losing trade. So I was expecting the market to come up from here, but I wanted to see a confirmation entry. You can see when the market tapped in here, it didn't give that confirmation entry, but so we are fine. But we had a lot of opportunities. So the confirmation kind of came all the way down when we start having structure shift to the upside here. So I can go ahead and remove this, okay? Then I can remove this as well. And now start again from the daily time frame. Let's analyze that. Hope you're following. If you're following, just type 1 in the comment section. If you're following, just type 1 in the comment section. Follow me, type 1 in the comment section. Awesome, awesome. Osisioma Crypto. Marco, I see you. Now, BNB has this drawdown. You can see from here, look at the liquidation. From here, BNB has like a crazy 37% drawdown. It's actually massive. That is the liquidation that I'll call. But BNB quickly recovered. I think BNB is really, really volatile at this time, which gives a lot of trading opportunity if you know what you're doing. It's like the chain now where everybody is heading to for meme coins. Also last week on Telegram, I talked about a meme coin. It's not yet released, but people are working on it right now. And I'm going to give you information within Telegram when it's time for it to be released. So if you're not in Telegram, you should get to Telegram. Get into our Telegram. That is the Afibi Crypto. Get into it if you're not there yet. Okay, so moving forward for BNB, what do we have? We have a massive liquidation. We clear the high again, and you can see the structure looks bullish. So we are going to clear this high again. So BNB is currently now at 1,130. I think we're going to clear 1,300 pretty easy. Right? Because we've had the so much needed correction for BNB. So now going to the 4-hour time frame, we can start looking for trade opportunities to take this higher. The same thing also occurred here. So on the 4 hours, we've not had a break of structure yet. Generally looking at this, until we clear this particular high here, excuse me, until we clear this particular high, we have not switched into the bullish mode. But we can start taking Q from other cryptocurrencies. Okay? I'll start taking Q. If we break above, then I can still say, okay, now we can go to this high. So on a swing trading perspective from the 4 hours, once we clear this particular high, then we can go higher. Once we clear this high here, once we break this structure through, then we can go higher. Now, with this, we can go to the 1 hour time frame. But on the short term, we can still find opportunities. I would really want us, because we have liquidity here. This is another high here. On the short term, I can still look at this. This might be more of a risky trade, right? Because this is all high we're looking at generally. So we can have this. This one here. The reason why I say this particular one, because if you look over here, we have a fair value gap here. That's why I'm not considering this candle. That's why I'm considering the other candle. Okay. Now, so on the 1 hour, so I consider 1 hour 4 hours swing trades. Okay. On this hour, I'm still looking at break into this structure, then tap down, and we'll move higher to this point. So this would be a good trade to take by simply taking a long from this point, targeting this low. Then this will be my first target will be here because of this other block. This will be my first target. So TP1 will be at this point, at 3.24. Then my TP2 will be here at 5.6. So TP1, TP2. So this is what I see for BNB. Now let's go to XRP. XRP is the last crypto I'm analyzing. After that, we'll just go straight to the Forex market. Okay. Remove these EMAs and we'll start again on the daily time frame. All right. What do we have for XRP on the daily? Again, XRP has a crazy liquidation. We can see that even this liquidation still came down and respected the other block we have here. It still came down to respect this other block we have here. So I was seeing that BNB has 37% liquidation drawdown. Let's see what XRP had. XRP had 62%. God of mercy. 62%. So somebody asked something in one of the classes. The guy asked because sometimes your stop loss is haunted. Sometimes your stop loss is going to be haunted. And the guy said, so because a trade can hit your stop loss and still goes in that direction you expect it to go to. So the guy was like, so why don't you just not use stop loss? This is the reason why you should always use stop loss. Because if you are looking at this trade, actually, it is all bearish. So I expect to take a short position normally. But let's say you're taking a bullish position and this thing just happened and you not have stop loss put in place, your account is blown like immediately. Your account goes to zero. I don't care how much you have in your account. So far as you are using leverage, I cannot trade without leverage, right? Your account is gone unless maybe you're using isolated and whatever in isolated is gone. So this is one reason you should always use stop loss. In case it goes against you, you still come out okay. So this is 62% XRP. But then again, the market's structure still is very bullish. So on the daily, I'm just going to remove this. On the daily, this will be where we are targeting, right, this particular high. I'm just going to mark it with a dotted line. This will be our target on the daily. Okay, wherever we're going, we want to get here. This market actually is still looks bullish. I mean, still look bearish. See what I mean? Because we made a low, made higher low, lower low, so it can still go down this way. Okay, so this is structure is giving. So on the daily again, until we break this, particular high, we can now say that we are heading higher. All right, because that is the last swing This is the last swing here. Now 4 hours. Let's have some clarity on the 4 hours. Let me go back to data and talk about something. Now, the reason why I said that why I'm targeting here is because we can actually come all the way to this up and still go down. I don't know if you're going to move higher, because if even before the liquidation happened, you can see that XRP structure is bearish, right? And so if we break this target, if you break this, this is the next one. Then if we break this particular one here, that is when I'm not more confident that XRP is going to go higher to take out its all-time high. Okay, if we break this, I am more confident that XRP is going to take out its all-time high. If we break this particular one, I am more confident it's going to get to this particular region. But what we're interested is right now is actually seeing how we can trade this particular region here. So 4 hour time frame, let's break this thing down more. So in the 4 hours, you can see some market structure shift. You can see it here. We have a break of structure here. And as a matter of fact, I'm just going to go straight to the 1 hour to make it cleaner. Okay. So this is the last swing. This swing led to this drop down. And once that swing has been broken, that is when we have our break of structure. This didn't give like a demand zone to trade from. This is where sometimes you can use the moving averages or your Fibonacci level to know where to take a trade from. So from this point, you can see that this actually tapped into the 6-2 level to make this high. So we have that. Now, what is the demand that is leaving behind? This is the demand zone that is being left behind. Okay. Now, if you look here, you can see that this, all saying similar things. If you look here, I'm not seeing this. In fact, we are attacking this demand, this particular supply here. I'm not seeing any efficient region here. So the first target is going to be this particular top here. This will be the first top of the target, meaning that this will also be a trade to take long position from here. Target is low, and we can see first target is this point, 3.32. Second target is this particular point, 5.52. So this is first target, second target. Now, it's important, and bring this lower. It's important you have risk management. Is very important. Okay, risk management when taking this trade is very important. If you are risking, let's say you're risking maximum of 2%. Let's say you're risking 1% of your account in a particular trade. In other words, you cannot enter another trade until that 1% has played out. So it means that you can only take one of these, or you now split it to 0.5 and take two of these. If you're risking 2%, maybe you can split it into four and take the four trades, or just take some and just leave particular some. So trade management is also important in trading when taking trades. Okay. Because I noticed with crypto, sometimes you can have a sweep. Let me go 30 minutes, actually. Sometimes some of these settings will have a sweep. Some of them will be respected. So trade management and risk management, they are very, very important. Our calculator, I think I have to show this so you guys see. Let me see, FX. We're going to have a new release within the, we're going to have a new release within the week. So if you look at it, I don't know if it can be seen. Yeah, it can be seen. The camera is not focusing on it. Okay. So you see this new section I have here? That is the take profit right now. So we have a take profit section. You can actually calculate your potential profit in the calculator. I will make it in such a way that you can turn it off and on. Let's say you don't use it, you can actually turn it off here. If I turn it off and I go to my session, it won't be there anymore. But if I switch it on, I can see it. Let me go here. Whew. I can see it here. So for crypto, you're going to see take profit. For Forex, see take profit. Even if you're trading derivative, you see everything there. This feature, but we're still testing, or also included account currencies. Let's say your account currency, you're now trading. Let's say now you're not trading in you hold on. Let's say you're trading, maybe you're in Canada, you want your account currency to be in Canadian dollar, or you're in the UK, you want it to be in GBP, in pounds, or you're in Japan, you want it to be in JPY. The calculator now has that functionality. So that is that on that. Now let's get to Forex analysis. We just have a limited time right now to get into it. We'll start with the Great British Pound. I'm just going to turn this off. Whoa! So this is a very this is a candle. This has been looking bullish, but this is a momentum candle right now, showing that we might be going lower. We are going lower with this momentum candle. Anyway, so let's start from the higher time frame. Analyze down. All right. Okay, so this is for the weekly range. Oh, sorry, my screen is not showing. Forgot that I wasn't. Okay, so for the weekly range, we have here as my weekly low. I can still have this point here above here as my weekly high. So it's my weekly low. This is just the range, my weekly range. Okay. So what am I saying? My trade is going to be centered. It's either we have this going up or we have it coming down. So these are the two targets I'm looking at. So we're not going to go deeper to see the direction we are actually going to take this action on. Okay, by simply just going to the daily time frame to now start having some clarity. What do we have? So we have here, it's so on the daily, it makes more sense. We have a breakout structure here, okay, and this is an efficient zone, but you can see that this looks like a demand zone. I believe if we go lower to the 4 hours, you can see here as a demand zone. we have a rejection. This candle is rejecting, this is a rejection of this demand, which means that we can go lower from here. Okay, it looks like bearish, and this is the zone we are likely targeting for this. Okay, again, break of structure here means that we're going to go higher, and we might take an order. We might take. Well, we're going to respect this zone. Let me mark this out so it makes sense. So we have a break of structure here. Okay, we created this. We want to go higher. We'll have to come down to take order from a demand zone to go higher. Hope this makes sense to you. Now, so this is on the daily time frame, this is more like the structure. But within the structure, we're having a substructure. Okay, so this is a internal structure now. This. We have this down, and we're having this. So this is likely coming down this way. Maybe we'll do one more before we now do maybe a confirmation entry to start going higher. Okay. So with this said, I cannot go to the 4 hour. Let's start looking for opportunities to trade. I was thinking this was bullish when I was looking at it on the 5 minutes. But when we now go to weekly, daily, it now becomes okay. This is actually not bearish. This is actually not bullish. This is bearish. So stay acting off of this. We have a sweep here. We swept this high, and right now, what I'll be looking for is opportunities to not take this market lower. So looking at this, we're having this region over here. I was hoping to see this respected. Okay, this is the last candle on the 4 hours before this particular momentum shifts to the downside. So I was looking at having this respected to go and attack this liquidity we're having down here. Okay, so I think this liquidity is going to be my first target. How do we attack this liquidity we're having here? Now, 1 hour time frame, to make this clearer, do we have on the 1 hour time frame, the first swing point, obvious swing point, is this one here. So we need to see this taken out. We need to see this taken out to when this is taken out, it's a confirmation that we are going lower. Okay, now, so this taking out, like we had this earlier, but this zone might not be tapped into. We're expecting that this tapped into this zone to go lower. Okay, but looking at it again, this might be the zone that is going to be respected if we break here. So what am I saying? Break down here. We want to tap here and go lower, because this now becomes the zone that broke structure. And if on the 1 hour I'm not seeing any fair value gap to say we're taking an order from here. I think if I go down to, if I go down to 15 minutes, I might see some things to trade from here. Even on that 15 minutes, apart from this very, very top one here, there's really nothing here to take our trade from. So what is my trade? This can be refined. This can be refined from here, because see, on the 15 minutes now, we can now see that we've had an internal breakout. We have a breakout structure here. Okay, and it was respected. We came down, we broke structure around, we broke the structure here too, around here, and we saw it still respected, to this zone. We came down further, and I can consider this a record structure here. which tap in higher. So what am I looking forward to? Even from here, because from here we're having an efficient zone. So even if we don't break down up to this particular zone, if we break down to this particular zone, I'm still going to look forward to this happening. So back to my 1 hour time frame. This will be what I'll be looking forward to. But ultimately, we want to see this broken. If this is broken, then we can now start targeting this one. If this is broken, again, we can target this particular liquidity that has been formed here for a long term. So this is a region I'll be watching out for, at least from the swing trade perspective on EU. From the swing trade perspective on EU, what I'm just looking at is, okay, what is a possible day trade for me here? That's what I'm looking at. What is a possible day trade? But swing trade is really clear. Swing trade really clear. Wait for this to be broken, then look for trade opportunity to take this to this particular. I think this is going to be a very profitable trade. From this high to here, it's a very profitable trade, like from the swing trade perspective. Okay. But for the day trade, I think this is where a little risky. This is where we'll start looking at. So even from the day trade perspective, this is where we start looking at. Shorts from here to this region. However, this is where I want to see broken. So I'm not going to take this trade, okay? Because this is all the ultimate place I want to see broken, even from the perspective. The reason is this: if you look at this region here, these are all efficient price action, okay? Which means that since this has broken above here, we should see it continue higher. And if you look down here, this is actually a demand zone, which means that this can just be a trap to get you to just go higher and just take and go higher from here. So this is not a trade I would take because of this. So what I will want to see is to see this broker. So this might go higher. This from here can go higher. And if it now breaks this is the one I will want to trade. The second one, which is this one. This is one I want. This is a safer trade to take than taking this one. This one is risky to take this one. But once we have here broken, then it becomes a much safer trade to take. I just go ahead and place an alert here if that does happen. If not, we can see this go higher and attack this zone. Attack this zone. Then if it goes higher to attack this zone, then I can start looking for a confirmation entry to go lower, because I still believe that this still shows that we're going to go lower. Only that in the meantime, we can go higher to attack this particular zone. And this might just be a trap. Hope it makes sense to you. And if you look again, this is an Asian high. Mhm. I really don't always trust Asian other blocks, Asian supply and demand zone. Um, especially with regards to Euro USD. They are mostly swept most of the time. So it's best we just wait for what happens to see what happens here, to see what happens to this particular one. So let me restate this again. I think I've taken a lot of time in trying to explain EU. For EU, to trade lower, we want to see this one taken out to trade lower. Okay, if it's taken out, I want to look for um, entry, retracement, entry at the retracement to go lower. But if you break above here, if you break above, they want to look for entries to take it to this particular order block here. But this momentum shift to the downside, this is strong momentum shift to the downside, suggests that this market is going to go lower. Okay, because if you've been looking at it, we have a strong momentum shift here. They'll have a retracement, another strong momentum shift here. We had a retracement, it takes time. Now we're having another momentum shift to the downside. So this might just be the trade we're looking at. This might just be the direction we're looking at. So let's quickly go to GU. I might not treat all the currencies. Now GU is basically doing the same thing. Our time is fast spent. We're ending this live in the next, because it's just 1 hour. We're ending this live in the next 3 minutes. So GU is going to have similar thing because GU and EU looks very similar. Whatever is happening here, it's similar to what is going to happen. Whatever is happening in EU is similar to what's going to happen in GU. The degree of the effects might just differ slightly, but they are usually what happens in both in the two scenarios. USD JPY. What are we expecting? This was a very great trade we had here. This particular one here was a good trade. I was looking at this region and looking at here. I can't remember what made me even take this particular trade. I think I was using moving averages. Okay. But this is the target, the other target I was looking at, which was we didn't see it. We didn't see it happen. But it seems that we're heading there right now. Seems that we are heading there right now. Okay. I've been looking forward to seeing this field. Seeing this field right now, we have had this bunch of liquidity here has been taken care of, leaving us a break of structure to the upside. But still looking at this, I don't think we are going higher until, let me remove this, until this has been cleared. If this get cleared, then I can start looking forward to this region. I can start looking forward to this particular region to go lower from. So we have on the 15 minutes, let me start from the 1 hour. Usually I didn't do, because of time, I didn't do a proper top-down analysis. But quickly from the 1 hour, I think for this trade, I'm just going to wait. Why? Because we are coming from This is a break of structure to the downside here. Clear. We can all see it. Clear. Which means that we should see this break of structure to the downside. We should see this retracement. We should see this go lower. Okay. But if you look at this is also a demand zone that this might be heading from. So I think what I would do is to mark this here and just wait to see it taken out. So if I see this taken out, then I want to go higher. As simple as that. To this target here. Then if I see this taken out, then I want to go lower and target here as my first take profit. So this is that on EU. I wished I had time to do top-down analysis and maybe explain this better the way I explained the rest. But this is it for today. I hope this all makes sense to you. If you want to join us more, make sure you join us on Telegram. We drop signals there for crypto, and you also get the link to join the Forex signal group. We drop signals there. And if you want to learn all this, you can go to afib.com to see how we do it. All right, let's have a very profitable trading week. Bye, everybody. See you on Discord tomorrow.